She didn't feel the scissors at first. Only the faint pull of a lock of hair, sliding away like a stolen breath. Lieutenant Mara Hale had finally surrendered to sleep after 36 hours on mission standby. Curled in the corner of the transport bay, her exhaustion deeper than bone. And while she slept defenseless, vulnerable, the man everyone trusted, Admiral Rourke, leaned over her with a cold, deliberate intention. A single snip echoed in the silent aircraft. The hair that had marked her identity, her pride, her promise, fell to the floor like a quiet betrayal she didn't yet know she'd face. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. But when Mara woke moments later, something in the air felt wrong. A strange chill threaded through the cabin, as if the metal walls themselves were holding a secret. Her hand brushed her neck. The strands were uneven, torn, missing, and in that tiny moment, suspended between confusion and dawning horror, she felt a part of herself crumble. Rourke didn't look at her. He simply snapped the scissors shut once more and tucked them into his vest, pretending nothing had happened. The other soldiers stared, some shocked, some uncertain, but none brave enough to challenge a man of his rank. Mara had survived 2 wars, 6 covert missions, and a lifetime of being underestimated. But nothing stung like waking up to humiliation, performed quietly, intentionally by a man meant to lead. She steadied her breath, no panic, just a slow, rising heat beneath her ribs. She reminded herself, she wasn't here for her hair. She was here for the 5 hostages captured deep in hostile territory, one of them a child. Still, humiliation has a way of echoing. And as she stood, dust dancing in the sunlight streaming through the aircraft hatch, she wondered why the Admiral had needed to prove dominance over a soldier who outranked him in skill, honor, and results. She wondered what broken part of him needed to break something in her. But Mara didn't break. The briefing began, tension hanging thick in the room like fog. Every eye flicked toward her, measuring whether she'd snap or drown. She gave them nothing but stillness, focus. A heartbeat later, she took command of the table, her voice calm, her mind razor-sharp. Rourke's jaw ticked in irritation. The others straightened in their seats, as if gravity had shifted when she spoke. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. For once, her thoughts betrayed her. She felt anger trying to claw its way out. She pushed it down. The mission mattered more. The lives at stake mattered more. But moral questions pressed against her chest. What do you do when the man you must obey abuses the thin power he holds? What do you do when the world expects silence? Outside, the storm clouds rolled in, heavy with wind. A distant rumble vibrated the floor. Soldiers whispered in the shadows, shame flickering in their eyes. No one defended her. No one dared. Hours later, the team approached the extraction point of Fortress, hidden in a valley strewn with jagged stone. Night cloaked the terrain, a silent partner. Mara moved ahead, weaving through brush like a ghost. Every step, every shift of her muscles revealed why she was the nation's best SEAL. Rourke watched her through narrowed eyes, resentment clouding judgment. He had no idea that the humiliation he'd planned had done nothing but sharpen her resolve. Inside the fortress walls, tension pulsed like a second heartbeat. The hostages were held in a steel enclosure guarded by armed militants. The team moved like a tide, silent, purposeful, unstoppable. Mara signaled the breach. She inhaled deep, letting the air settle her thoughts. Her hair, uneven and jagged, brushed her cheek. It didn't weaken her, it reminded her. With one swift motion, she led the entry. Tools struck in unison. Boots hit the ground like thunder. Soldiers surged, coordinated like a living machine. And Mara, faster than the crack of braking, ice-neutralized the guards before they could scream. Her movements were fluid, precise, almost poetic in their ferocity. Rourke froze when one militant's weapon swung toward him. Mara didn't. She stepped between danger and the man who'd hurt her, taking out the assailant with a brutal efficiency that left the entire team stunned. Whispers followed her like a wave. She saved him. After what he did? She didn't hesitate. And in that moment, the moral line glowed bright before every watching eye. Respect isn't taken, it's earned. And even when wounded, a true soldier chooses humanity over vengeance. The hostages were freed, every one of them. The child clung to Mara's leg, trembling, whispering thank yous that felt like tiny lanterns in the dark. When the team finally evacuated, dawn washed the valley in soft gold. Dust shimmered around them. Hearts beat slower. Breath felt steadier. On the aircraft ride back, silence took the space between Mara and Rourke, heavy, unavoidable. He finally approached, shame drawing lines across his hardened face. "Lieutenant," he murmured, "I was wrong." Mara didn't look at him. She didn't need to. "Being wrong isn't the problem," she said softly. "Refusing to change is." The words struck harder than any reprimand. The other soldiers watched, still and reverent, understanding that true leadership had just revealed itself, and it hadn't come from the Admiral. As the aircraft carried them home, Mara closed her eyes. The uneven strands of her hair lifted in the wind from the open hatch, wild and free, no longer a symbol of humiliation, but of resilience. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And somewhere between that stolen lock of hair and the dawn that followed, she learned that even in betrayal, strength can bloom quietly. Thank you for listening to this story from Whispered Words. If it moved you, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that linger long after they end.